Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Let's get it. Certified podcast. You're better than that. Tuesday morning jump off.
October 1st.
October 1st. And what's October?
Halloween season.
Halloween. What else? Speaking of Halloween, how was your weekend?
Pretty good. Went to that event.
What was the give me some highlights.
I judged chicken and pork.
Nice.
The judging was a lot more serious than I was expecting.
Oh, really?
They had a full team out there.
So how do you judge barbecue? What? Give me the kind of your experience.
So they have a phone that you have to use.
Mm-hmm.
You sit at a table and you can't have anything that they don't provide to you. And so they show you them first.
Okay.
And you judge them based off the appearance.
Damn.
And also you have no idea which one is to which group.
Crew, yeah.
So then they pass them around and you try a bite from each.
Yeah.
And you gotta throw away your fork and knife after each. But there's some that you're like, this looks bad, but it tastes good.
Yeah.
And then some they had good texture, but they tasted bad. And then some that were just
bad.
Yeah.
I wonder if they if it's if the guy's are we live right this?
Yeah, we're live.
But this one?
No, that's your pinned one.
This is the old one. Okay. I wonder if this happens with let's just say for example you're gonna start rapping, right? And you're around a circle of friends, and you're these are your good friends, right? And you're like, hey man, I want y'all to hear my rap and tell me what y'all think, right? And you suck.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, dog, it's tight, it's good, man, it's good. and it hypes you up. Yeah. So now you're like, I'm gonna go compete, and I wonder if that's the same thing with people that make barbecue. If they
Probably.
they have their little friends, and they're like, what do you think? What do you think? They're like, what do you think? They're kind of bulldogging them. It's good. It's good. It's good.
That's probably is what happens.
So can you give them feedback? Like if you say, hey, it was too. Oh, you can.
There's a whole comment section.
I wonder if they take it.
They apparently they do, and they're telling us not to be bullies to them.
Oh, okay, that's what you're saying.
Not to say just
be nice.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Give actual criticism versus just leaving oh, this is bad.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, big shout out to the. I want to say it was the. Tell me the name.
Smoke on the Water.
Smoke in the Water. Yes.
Brought to you by Redford Ranch Foundation.
Redford Ranch Foundation. So big shout out to Eric Barraza from Next Level Vets. Reach out to Eric, man. He's doing some amazing things. With veterans and basically. What he's doing is he's just providing resources for any veterans out there that are going through it, and it's I guess it's something that we don't really, as civilians, I guess are we called civilians, right? If we're not in the army, right? Civilians.
Yes.
So I think something as civilians we don't really pay attention to, or we don't really identify with, because we weren't actually in the services, right? So we don't know the after effects of that. And so Eric from Next Level Vets, he's trying to connect with those veterans and basically what his mission is, Next Level Vets, right? So let's get them to the next level. So big shout out to them for doing that and doing that for the veterans all over. I'm just adding this real quick. So what else was going on?
I went fishing.
Nice. How was that?
Pretty good. I went with Andreas.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
We went to Red Dot and it was packed.
Really?
We could barely get a spot.
Yeah. We are using Red Dot's actually a pretty legit spot to go.
Yeah.
So what's the secret at Red Dot to catch fish?
Go when people aren't there.
What time is that?
I thought it was gonna be around midnight. That's typically when people are empty out the spots.
Yeah. What time it actually goes down? Maybe like midnight, like one from 12 to maybe 3, maybe.
Yeah. I think around 10 people start leaving,
Yeah.
and then it kind of like really opens up around like midnight to 1.
Nice. Okay.
But it was packed even till midnight.
Yeah.
We just left.
I know Eric's watching this. I know he had some I'll tell you a story. One time we went fishing on Red Dot, and it was about like about that time, like from 12 to something, right? And then all of a sudden, like we just started catching, dude, like all these sand trout, like sand trout, speckled trout, like a bunch, dude. And I think I don't know if like I might be off like a couple or two, but I think it was like about 15, right?
Hmm.
And so we were all hyped up because we caught all these fish. And so then Eric, he had took him home, and and he started cleaning him. Like started cleaning him in the backyard. And dude, he got in so much trouble with. We were younger, but he got in so much trouble because of the smell.
Yeah.
Like he threw him in the trash, and dude, it was like a lot of fish guts and like just heads. Look, oh yeah, he said it was like 40 of them. Yeah, it was funny, dude. Anyway, so let's get back to the certified podcast. Everything collision related and auto care and uh, this stuff that's changing within the industry and things you can look out for if you have coverage and stuff like that, or if you don't have coverage. I know there was a guy that was asking me the other day. His car was it was a nice foreign car. And he had bought the car cash, and I said, "You have full coverage on it, right?" And he's like, "No, I just have liability." And I was like, "Well, you spent all this money on your vehicle. If someone were to hit you and it was to total out, like the insurance wouldn't give you anything for your car. Like it would just total out." I said, "Why not just get full coverage for maybe a couple $100 more?" And you can add your car as a full coverage. That way, if you do get in an accident, they'll give you the money for your car. So basically, what they'll do is they'll just look up the value. So one thing that the people don't realize is like, whenever they're looking up the value of their vehicle, they automatically go to the Kelly Blue Book value and they say, okay, what's the vehicle? What's the year of? I mean, what's the value of my vehicle, right? Well, the Kelly Blue Book is for consumers. It's a consumer's guide for pricing, right? But it's not the actual
The actual
it's
value.
like it's called the Black Book, right? The Black Book is the one that actually has the value of the vehicle, because what it does, it actually gives you, it says the make and model, right? And then it says, okay, what's the condition of the interior, the tires, the paint, and so it breaks down a bunch of categories, and then it gives you like an estimated valuation. And that's what the insurance companies use. And a lot of people go to the Kelly Blue Book and they automatically think that that's the value of their vehicle, but that's not really accurate,
It's like Facebook Marketplace.
Probably,
seen-
yeah.
People like try and sell their car.
Mhm.
They'll look it up on Kelly Blue Book.
Oh, and they'll
See,
put a
like the
screenshot.
average, but it'll be like way higher than their like actual car is like worth.
So Kelly Blue Book says it's worth
15K.
15K.
It's like all dirty in the inside, rusted out.
Yeah, so I mean, you wouldn't. I mean, check out the full coverage if your car's free and clear. I mean, let's get into it,
Yeah.
man. Well, that's good. I'm glad you had a good weekend. I'm glad you caught some fish.
Mhm. Uh, Here's a good question. What happens if I ignore damage after an accident?
Ignore it. Like what?
Say somebody, I'm like driving, somebody pulls out of a stop sign too fast,
Yeah.
hits me in like the fender, hood, bumper.
Well, I mean, your car's gonna look like shit.
That's pretty much it.
I mean, you.
What about rusting? Will it rust?
I mean, if you wrecked your car and like you're like, it's cool, it's okay, whatever. Like they're not worried about the rusting, right? But it's gonna be harder to get insurance if you try to get insurance because they're probably gonna want pictures of the car.
Mm-hmm.
It might cause other issues, like if they hit on the front bumper of the fender area and maybe the light area, it might start to affect the wheel liner. Or if on a lot of vehicles nowadays, like the alignments get thrown off really easy. So like if you get hit on the front tire area or the wheel, it's gonna throw off the alignment, and if you don't get it checked out, it's gonna wear out the tires. And so, depending on the type of vehicle, the tires might be very expensive. So that's something you might want to look into.
And then next, we're going to go into some car maintenance tips. So, some of the maintenance that we're going to be talking about is maintaining your paint, fluids, and just stuff dealing with that.
Yeah, so let's get into it.
So, do you know anything about topping off fluids?
I know I saw a video on, I think it was on like TikTok or like Facebook or something where so there's a video of like this is I guess it's like a lady and a man, two ladies.
Mhm.
You ever seen them? Where
No.
they're so the ladies like they open the hood, right, and one lady has like a bottle of windshield washer fluid, like the gallon, right,
Yeah.
and I guess it's the mom or something, some dumb mom, right? She's like saying, "Yeah, show him we don't need no damn man. Like we don't need no man, like right." And so the girl's like holding the bottle. She's like, "We don't need no man." Like trying to act all hard, right? And so they're putting the power. I mean the washer fluid where the oil goes, right? And they're like, "Who says you need a man, right?" And so then like the next video, it shows like they're at the mechanic shop, right? And they have the car. They lift the car up, right? And you can you can hear like the Hispanic dude, right? He's like, they take it out. He's like, "¿Quién es? ¿Quién es? No sé, no sé." It's and like he's like trying to. It's funny because they're standing around it like if they're seeing like an alien, right? They're like, "What is it? Like what is it? What's going on here, right?" And he's like, "I don't know. I don't know." He's a "Se mira washer fluid." And they're like, what did she say? It's like, what did she says, right?" And he's like, "Well, she said that they stopped in because the washer fluid was empty. They put washer fluid in it." And he's like, "Se miras puse el aceite." Like it looks like she put it where the oil goes, right? And so like the washer fluid's like dripping out of the oil pan, right? And then you see like the oil come, right? It's so funny, dude. And I think what's funny is like the that's it's like the Mexican dudes. They're all like like obviously from Mexico, or they speak Spanish, right? But it's funny because they're not like they're trying to figure out like what's going on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just funny how they're trying to like they're going back and forth. It's just funny video, dude. But anyway, so speaking of car maintenance, what was your question?
So you're saying people shouldn't top off their washer fluid?
No.
Leave it to the professionals.
He was the professionals.
No. So what's some?
Oh, there's another video.
Oh.
I don't know if you. I'll see if I can find these clips where there's some guys that like they're like service like they're at a dealership, right?
Mhm.
They work there, and they're service advisors, right? And there's like like this old school mechanic, right? And he's sitting there, and he's eating breakfast, like they're eating breakfast right in the morning in the office or whatever, and he's sitting like this, and like he's eating like a honey bun or something, right? And they're filming him like eating, right? But they're talking like me and you're talking, right? And he's like, it was funny. He's like, "Hey, Aaron, man, do you know if they sell like longer dipsticks, right?" And you're like, "No, why?" He's like, "Man, because I checked my oil, but I think the oils are like further down, so I need to get a longer dipstick," right? And the other guy's going like, Like fucking idiots, right? But they're fucking with them, right? And so then he's like, yeah, man, I don't know who made up this dumb thing that like you have to change your oil every 4,000 miles or so, or was it
4 or 5,000.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know who made that up, dude. He's like, I've had my truck for 8 years and I've never changed the oil and it runs perfectly fine. Right? And so this dude's like, what? Like he's like, they're talking over here, but
Yeah.
like they're filming his reaction, dude. And he's like, probably thinking in his head, these fucking idiots, like But they keep going on and on about like, yeah, you know what? I don't think that's true. Like, I'm never gonna change the oil on my truck. I love my truck. I don't want to do it. And so this guy's over here, he's like freaking out. It's funny, but speaking, yes.
So what's some that people could do at home? What's some that they should leave to the professionals?
I mean, of course, I mean you can do like the washer fluid. The thing maybe like not even the radiator stuff because see, what a lot of people don't realize is uh like the washer fluid, right? So you can put water in there, but what's gonna happen is the water's probably gonna leave water spots on your window,
Yes.
right? So if it's hot, so let's just say you're driving and it's really hot and you need to clean your windows, right? So you're spraying. Let's just use the example. We'll try and like we'll go into the bugs too, right? So let's just say, for example, you just put regular water in there and you're using that to wash your window. Well, that's the real hard water, right? So it's just tap water. So it has a lot of calcium and a lot of stuff in it, right? And so it's gonna leave water spots on the vehicle. So if it's really hot, it's gonna leave heavy water spots because you're letting that water sit, right? Also, in the glass, it can leave water spots in the glass. So that's why they sell washer fluid because it has some of like the Rain-X has some chemicals in there that like repel the water. So
Yeah, I use Rain-X.
yeah, so it actually helps with the water spots and stuff like that. In fact, like they actually use sometimes you can use a water softener. I don't know if you ever seen that.
Yeah, for fish tanks.
Well, you can. So when we used to do the Cadillacs when they first came in on the trucks we would have a tank, a water softener tank, and we would wash the car with the water softener, and the water just beads right off
Yeah.
because the water. I don't know what's something with the water, um, but back to your point, what someone can do at home is if you're gonna use the washer fluid, if you're gonna replace the washer fluid, try to get like a good washer fluid. And I know O'Reilly sells like an O'Reilly's brand washer fluid, or you can get the Rain-X.
I got the Rain-X, the bug one at Walmart for like $3 a gallon. So it's not.
It's not that expensive.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Would you recommend somebody to change their own oil?
I mean, you tell me about that. Because you ran into that situation.
Yeah. So I went to go change my oil. It was the first time doing it on my own car. But I've done it before, and it's pretty easy on Subarus because the oil filter sits right on top. So you're not really like digging around for anything. Everything's easy access. But dude, they over tightened that plug at the dealership.
Yeah.
Like over tightened.
Yeah.
So standing over here spent like an hour to get it off.
We're lucky we got it off. I mean, because I mean, it could have been worse, because see the thing is like, if the plug, if you can't access the plug really easy, it might strip out. It might strip, and or they tighten it really tight just so it doesn't leak. Because remember you have the vibration, you have a bunch of stuff that goes on, and you also have like so think about this like. If you have a bolt and a nut that's like soaked in oil, it's gonna be very like lubricated and it's gonna come off real easy.
Yes.
So that's why they tighten it so much. Also, if you are, I mean, this you have to buy a new screw, like
Yes.
a screw for it. But let's just say if you didn't, there's actually like a little seal that you have to replace every time you change the oil.
The crush washer.
Yeah. So it's a little washer that goes in there, and so you have to replace that every time that you change the oil because what it does, whenever you tighten it, it actually crushes it. And then it has like a little piece of like rubber in there that seals it. so that helps the oil from leaking. So yeah, I mean, I mean, I would just say if you're gonna be doing the oil changes, like just take them somewhere to get them done. It's gonna be a lot faster. It's gonna be a lot safer, and I think the thing is like people don't realize the 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 change in vehicles, right? So for example, like if you had a Chevy pickup or if you had a Chevy or whatever Ford or whatever, you jack it up, the oil things right there. You drain the oil, you tighten it back up, you put like it's simple, right? But now you have these bottom covers. So a
Yeah.
lot of times you have these bottom covers that go in the bottom. They take special clips. Maybe the bolt is not like right accessible, so you have to kind of get in there. So there's a bunch of things that have changed up on vehicles that people don't realize, especially like so think about this. So if your car if back in the day you're like, oh, I used to change the oil back in the day all the time. Okay, that's good, uh but remember the motors now are sideways. They're not long ways
Hmm.
because they're front wheel drive. So there's a difference, you know what I mean? So you have to think, okay, where's my oil uh drain plug at, and is am I gonna have the right tools for it? Um Stuff like that, And plus, I mean, I don't know, like think about this. So like whenever you're doing it at
Like a Take 5.
a take five, right? Maybe they're under the car or they raise it up. They probably get under it,
Yeah,
right?
they have the pit.
Okay, so your car's level, and so all the oil is draining. But if you jack it up like this, your oil is actually gonna roll to the back, so you might not get all the oil out without it being flat. So I mean that's another thing too. So there's a couple of things. I mean, I would just say get it done, the right way. Uh, or if you just want to do it at home, and I mean you can. It's not a big deal.
For
But
sure, look, do your research on it.
yeah, just make sure that especially the lower shields because uh, we've had some customers where they have their oil changed. In fact, we had a Nissan come in a couple of months back that the lady had went and got her oil changed somewhere and they didn't tighten all the things on the bottom,
Oh yeah.
and so they just started to rub. So you just gotta look out for that.
We also seen the oil filters where they don't tighten it all
Yeah,
the way.
yeah. So just look out for that.
Uh, and the next up, the paint. So, what's some ways to make sure you protect your paint and increase the life of it?
So I know that they sell. Probably one of the easiest things to do is are these are some of the things you should avoid, right? So you want to avoid washing the car with dishwashing soap for one, because whenever you wash it with dishwashing soap, it like strips off any protectives that are on the vehicle. So you're pretty much like uh, it's pretty much like wiping the vehicle with alcohol. Yeah, you're like
Yep.
you're stripping off everything that's on there, and it might be clean, but what you're doing is you're actually leaving it open for things to stick on it, and that's tree sap. That's like brake dust, road grime, hard water spots, like
Bugs.
bugs. Like you're opening the paint up to absorb all these things. So one thing about the clear coat is it's very similar to like a skin, because whenever it gets real hot, it actually expands.
Hmm.
Okay, and then when it cools down, it extracts, like it tightens back up. So if it tightens back up, whatever's on there it's gonna kind of like grab it. So that's why you get these hard water spots, or you get these you know real like overspray, or you get road grime, because it's really caked on there. And let's just say you have a vehicle and you rub your hand on it and you can feel it feels real grainy, right? A couple of things you can do to kind of restore that finish is you can use it's called a clay bar. And so at O'Reilly's and at AutoZone and some detail places, they sell clay bars. And so what the clay bar is like it's actually a clay bar, like it looks like a piece of clay. And you can there's a lubricant you can spray, and then you kind of like
Yeah, and they come in kits.
yeah, they come in kits. And so you get the clay bar, you get a little piece, you flatten it out, you spray the car, and you kind of like you're kind of like wiping it And what the clay does, it actually grabs whatever's on the paint, so it kind of pulls it off of the paint. And over time, like you can turn the clay bar and you go see like a bunch of dirt on it.
So would you change it over constantly?
Yeah, you got to keep changing it. So every like you don't want to use the same clay bar on the whole car. You want to kind of use little pieces here and there. When you notice it starts to kind of not work anymore, and once you clay bar it, now it's ready for you to wax. So, like I said, let's just say, for example, you haven't waxed your vehicle in a long time, and you don't take care of it right, and you realize, hey, my vehicle has like it doesn't feel smooth anymore. It's real rough. You can go buy the clay bar, okay? And you're right, they do sell different courses of it. There's like a fine course, mid course, and then heavy course. And I mean, I would say to start with the mid course, you know what I mean, and see how that works. If it's not really working that good, maybe go with a little bit higher up. But once you clay bar the whole car, now it's ready to be waxed because it's like fresh, solid. It's gonna absorb the paint. And let's just say you don't want to use the Carnauba wax, the old school paste wax and all that stuff. You can use a flash wax, and it's like a spraying wax. You spray it on there and you wipe it off, and it's not gonna be like it's not gonna be a very thick coat versus, let's say, for example, sunscreen, right? There's a spray one you can spray on real quick, and then there's one you can actually apply. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna use a spray one, just do it like every week. Like maybe every time you wash your vehicle, just spray wax it. And what will happen is they'll start to build up. So you'll start to slowly build layers of wax on it. And so you don't want to clay bar it, wax it, and then go use the dishwashing soap again.
You want to remove everything.
Yeah, you want to buy some wash and wax. O'Reilly sells 2 of them. They sell like a regular car wash soap, and then they sell like a wash and wax one. Or you can even buy the Meguiar's one.
I used the Meguiar's for a while.
Yeah, just use the Meguiar's one. And Meguiar's also sells the clay bar. And you can buy the soap, buy the clay bar, buy some microfibers. And then Meguiar's also sells a spray wax. So you can buy those 3 things, and you could probably pretty much get your vehicle looking pretty good again. You know what I mean?
And then another tip for washing, there's plastic and leather rejuvenator sprays. Typically they're white, and you could go on all those plastic trim pieces if your vehicle has the plastic trim on the outside.
Yeah. So the thing with the thing with the plastic trim, you might want to. The plastic trim is getting a little bit more difficult now because they fade out real easy. You might want to try to find something for the black trim that has like a UV protective in it. And the UV protective is gonna help. It's gonna help the black from fading out, because that's why it fades out, because it gets hot. And it fades out because of the sun. So you might want to try to find something that protects the black, and it's going to be like a black trim protective or something. I know for a long time, Armor All, I think, has a UV protective in it. I want to say it does. And so also too, if you find something that says vinyl and leather cleaner, it's probably not a leather cleaner. There's a difference. So remember, leather is also like a what is it?
It's skin.
It's skin. All right. So if you're using Armor All on leather, you're not really doing. You're not helping it. So with leather, you need to put a leather conditioner.
Yeah.
There's a difference. The leather conditioner actually keeps it like moisturized. You know what I mean? So that's gonna give the leather more life, especially if your vehicle gets really hot. Just getting a leather conditioner is going to add some life to that leather, and it's going to make it actually a little bit more durable than
having it.
Yeah, then it's going to look like a freaking saddle.
Yeah. No, we seen a car like that where it looked like a saddle, but it was intentional.
Yeah. Eric said, check out the tires. You go cheap, It says also overlook tire. Yeah, so he says don't buy cheap tires.
Yeah, it's pretty important to make sure your tires are good too.
Yeah, what was the place we said that has good tires?
I said Sam's Club.
Oh yeah, Sam's Club. Yeah.
So if you have a membership, go check it out. Maybe go get some quotes from different places first.
Yeah. What else we got? Speaking of car care, I know we're kind of going on a little extra, but the butterflies, right? So the butterfly, this is something that'll mess up your cars too.
Yeah. So let me find it. American snout butterflies.
Mhm.
So they migrate around Central and South Texas in the late summer, seeking fresh hackberry trees.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say seeking gorditas.
So they're like brown and
joke.
orange,
Uh,
but I don't know if you ever experienced it. I experienced it a couple times
Yeah.
driving like to the valley. You'll be like driving and there's like brush on the side of the road, and out and over all you see is butterfly, and then your whole car is covered.
I can see the what are they called, the trucks called,
The semis.
the quaches.
Oh,
That's what they're called.
the momolomas.
Mm. The momololas with all the bugs. So how long do they last?
I think it's just yeah. They just say it's late summer.
Okay.
So how would you remove? Do you recommend those bug sprays?
The bug removal sprays.
Yes.
So one thing you can do is you can use like an Armor All, right? So you can use like an Armor All or a wax for the front end. So like for example, like today wax. Do you get a lot? Is there still a lot of bugs or no? They're gone.
I think they're still.
Oh, so let's just say you travel a lot, right? Okay. So you can wash the vehicle. You're gonna have to probably get you're probably gonna have to get a mitt, the one with the on the back is for bug removal, like a wash mitt with it has like little.
Is it like smaller or is it the longer?
Well, no, so like one side's a sponge and then the other side looks like it has like little like a sock kind of like stocking.
Okay.
Like I don't know if you've seen that.
Yes.
Right. And so what that does, that helps remove the bugs.
Oh.
It's like it's a bug remover because you don't want to use that brush. It's too aggressive. So you can soap it up real good. Use the bug removal. Okay. You could spray a little bit of like cleaner, right? But you got to be careful because it also remember like you can use this is how the detailers do it, okay? But I mean you got to don't do this at home, right? I got to use a disclaimer, right, or something. But what the detailers will do is like it say the car has a lot of bugs on it, right? They'll spray like a quick like a degreaser or something, and what it does, it loosens up the bugs, and then they scrub them with the mitt, right? And then they wax the front end. But if you can't get the bugs off, get a wash and wax, use the mitt, maybe use a small brush that's not gonna be too aggressive, right?
So softer bristle.
Softer to bristle, and just kind of work it out. If they're still not coming out, you can get them off with wax. So if you get some wax, a spray wax, and you start to wax it, the wax will kind of soften up the bug, and so you can remove it like that. So it's a safer way to remove it versus trying to use all these chemicals or trying to use a real aggressive mitt or something or a brush or you might. I mean, I remember. I remember like people used to use like a Scotch Brite or something.
The steel wool.
The steel wool. So and then like just if you use like an Armor All or something on the front end, it helps the bugs not stick because there's actually like a lubricant there.
Mm-hmm.
So when it sticks, it doesn't really it doesn't absorb to it because that. Can you remember too? Like if it's a really hot, the plastic on the bumper is gonna get really hot.
Yes.
You know what I mean, so it's gonna stick even more. Also, you want to make sure that they don't get into your condenser, right? So because it'll make the vehicle overheat.
Oh.
A lot of people don't know that, but like if the whole that's so remember you have it's the condenser then the radiator, right? Okay, so the condenser operates the AC. Okay, the radiator is for the engine. Okay, the fan. A lot of people think the fan blows, but the fan actually sucks.
Is it trying to bring air in?
Yeah, it's pulling the air in because it needs to cool that thing. And so if the front one is clogged up, it's gonna restrict that airflow and it's gonna make that probably the AC stop working. So I know they sell some little like screens you can buy to put over the grill. And I mean I don't know, you could probably find them on Amazon, but they're like screens to protect from the bugs. And basically if you travel a lot, you could put a screen over the grill so it doesn't let those bugs go all the way in. You know, or you can probably have to wash them out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With the pressure washer. Just be careful not to bend all the fins.
We're getting kind of late here. I think we're just gonna share one news story for the day
Okay.
that I thought was interesting. So, do you know the Wright brothers?
Tell me.
The airplane?
Okay.
They're the ones who invented it.
Uh-huh.
So they invented it in the Outer Banks.
Uh-huh.
Well, they had their first successful test flight in the Outer Banks.
Okay.
And over the weekend there was a plane crash right there at the airport.
Oh,
Next to
where they
where they
wow.
first started.
And what happened? So did people get hurt or what?
Yes. So there's multiple people died. It was a little single engine
Mhm.
plane, and they were just trying to land.
Yeah.
They crashed. There was a fire, and then the fire is what killed them.
Oh wow. So I know you earlier you were saying you saw a bunch of memes like what's that Facebook page?
The Chronica.
Yeah, what are they? You said there was some meme or
They're like, I don't even know if they're like actual news stories or they're just like,
is it local?
I think it's local. Let's see, most recent. Yeah, dude, look at this.
Who's that?
This is Texas State Representative. But they're just like posting like politics stuff or whatnot, and people in the comments are getting mad.
Oh, really? Yeah, I would. So they're having like city council and all that stuff.
Yes.
When is the final voting? You know that?
Should be in like a month, I think.
Oh, really? Okay. So I mean, I'm just gonna put this out there, but I mean, I don't see any. I'm not too sure of what the responsibility of city council is, and I might be not saying the right thing about their responsibility, right? But I know like if someone is saying they're gonna make they want to be nominated or they want to be voted because they have plans on making things greater, right? We need to decide like what's going on with the vaping in some of these schools because because 78415 like that area that's like that's like the worst crime. It's not the worst crime rate, but I think it might be the worst crime rate, but it might also be the bulk of it might be the bulk of a lot of future entrepreneurs. It might be the bulk of a bunch of future business owners. It might be the bulk of a lot of things, right? And so if I'm not sure who's in control of that area or what, but I really wish they would mention something about the vaping. You know what I mean? Because this is messing up kids, dude. Like, there's parents that bust their ass every day to provide for these kids, and and make sure that they have a better place than where they came from, and then someone is taking advantage of that by presenting these vapes and making it look cool and misleading them. That's really what it is, and it's setting them up for on a deadly path, dude.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like we were looking at it up the other day, like what's in the vape, like can you,
Like they don't really know either.
yeah, so like there's so much chemicals that are involved, and I think nowadays, like I remember we would do and I don't see any city councilmen doing this. Like I don't know if they're just trying to run just for clout, or they're just trying to like look cool or whatever. But like if it's about like just being popular or whatever, like hey, like dude, like your fucking high school days are over. Like get over that shit. You know what I mean? Like there's real problems that are in the city that should be addressed. Like for example, like we were feeding the homeless for a long time,
Hmm.
and it got to the point where it was dangerous, dude, because there was a lot of homeless people that were smoking synthetic weed, right? But there was people actually making the synthetic weed,
Yeah.
so that they would buy it in bulks, right? It's just a raw. It's like a herb or something, right? They will buy it in bulks, put it in a tub, and then they'll add all these different chemicals to it, and then they'll sell it on the streets, right? And so that's fucking deadly, dude. And like there was times when we were out there, serving 100 people homeless, and I can identify who's selling dope. You know what I mean? Like I can tell, dude. Like if you have a bunch of homeless people and you had some dude like he just looks out of place,
Yeah.
and he's trying to fit in, I'm like, dude, like what are you doing here? You know what I mean? And I've actually confronted a couple. I'm like, dude, like what are you doing here, bro? Like you're fucking up these people's lives. You know what I mean? Like I know what you're doing. You know what I mean? I know what you're about. I know what's got going on. You know what I mean? And like I said, all you're doing is causing problems over here. You know what I mean? Because you know, think about this. Like when when we were feeding the homeless and we're out there doing blanket drives and jacket drives, a lot of people wanted to help. You know what I mean? But like for example, like let's just say I say, hey, Aaron, we're gonna feed the homeless, and you're like, man, I want to help y'all this weekend, right? And you're not familiar of what someone that's high looks like.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're not around that environment. So you're trying to help someone, you're trying to help them out, but they're high off their mind, and you don't know if they're gonna turn on you and fucking stab you.
Yeah.
You see, and you're just there trying to help. You know what I'm saying? And so it got to the point where like a lot of people were out there, like homeless people were really just high, dude. And I'm like, man, this shit's not safe anymore because you have kids running around, you have all these people trying to do a good thing. And so I think that now, I mean, the new thing is like vaping. Like, hey, let's see how we can manipulate the vapes to make a profit on it. You know what I mean? And the sad thing about it is like there's people locally that are behind all that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's fucked up. You know what I mean? I think that there's people behind it that are pushing that out there, and it's ruining the community. You know what I mean? It's ruining like it's ruining future potential. You know what I mean? Future kids, future doctors, futures lawyers, futures people that can make a difference are getting ruined because of this. Uh, like this, it's just it's bad. Do you know what I mean? So I challenge any city councilman out there, or whoever has the ability to look over this, like look deeper into it. You know what I mean? Look deeper into it and see what can be done about it, because I know there's families in pain right now that are going through this, and they don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? They don't know where to go. They don't know who to trust, because like I said, like I don't know if the I mean, I don't see why a city councilman can't say, hey, I want to focus on this and I want to see where I can make a difference, because I have relationships in the city that I can maybe bring some value by helping the community or whatever. But anyway, that's the kind of my thing. Hopefully, someone will hear this and take that a little bit serious, because I guarantee there's someone right now a family that busts their ass every day that their kids fucked up. You know what I mean? Because someone guided them in the wrong spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so we pray for you, brother. I mean, families out there, we pray for you. Just keep the faith, and hopefully, things will change. But sorry we went over the certified podcast, man. Everything automotive related, collision repair, and then some news, and then some rants. But big shout out to everybody running for city council, man. I hope you have the good intention of doing that, and I hope that also to the city manager, what's his name?
I don't know.
Zamoni. Big shout out to the city manager, man. He's
Yeah.
He's doing some amazing things.
Zanoni. Peter.
Yeah, Peter Zanoni. He's doing some awesome things, man, for the city. And I know a while back he was bashed on some stuff that he was doing, but I mean, this guy, I mean, he think about it, dude. Like, this dude, like, he came and he says, I want this job. There's a lot of responsibility, dude, for this job. I mean, he did a presentation at the Rotary Club, and like he has to oversee, like, what is it, like almost 30 departments or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like he has to see over. I mean, think about it, dude. You have the water, you have all these departments. Code enforcement. You have like streets. You have like the police. Like all these. So think of it like this. Okay, let's just say if basically the city's a business, okay? Okay, and the each department is kind of like its own business. All right, so let's just say I hire you and I say, hey, Aaron, I'm gonna hire you to be the manager, okay? So let's just say the name of our organization is called United. United,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Hey, Aaron, you're gonna be the United manager, but it says it's a city manager, but it's United, right? Okay. And your job is to oversee all these businesses and make sure they're running efficiently. Okay? And there's 30 businesses, so every day you have to oversee. Okay, this one. Okay, what's the plan for this one? What's the problem? And so you're solving you're solving problems. And you're dealing with other managers, and you're doing all this all day. So just imagine how much how much time is invested in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you help manage one business, or two businesses, right? I mean, with us, right? So, like, just imagine if you had 30 of that, and how many employees you had.
And then you can't even focus on one of them.
Yeah, because you have to, and then on top of that, you probably don't, get to see your family as much as you like to. You know what I mean? On top of that, then you're getting bashed, for everything that you do, because it's not right. Somebody's like, oh, well, that is, someone has an opinion that's at home on the couch.
So they're gonna post on their.
Yeah, it's kind of like the guy sitting his fat ass on the couch, talking shit about the NFL football player. Oh, he sucks. He doesn't know how to run right, and he doesn't do this right. And this guy's just sitting his ass on the couch, like, eating Cheetos. You know what I mean? Like, the same shit. So this guy goes through a lot. So I have a lot of respect for him, because he's doing some amazing things for our city, and like a lot of things that he's doing for the city, like, no one's gonna see right this minute. You know what I mean? So everybody's like, well, has he done? What has he done? What has he done? Well, you're probably not gonna see shit that he's done till maybe like the next generation, because the city was so like behind on stuff. Like first you got to organize everything first, and then you got to get a plan.
And then once you make those changes, the results don't happen overnight.
Yeah, they're not gonna happen overnight. So like, people just want things fixed the next day. You know what I mean? Like, and that's ridiculous. I know, they were talking about the road system, right? And so the reason why I said cloud, I wonder if this was all about cloud, because like previous city managers, I mean, the city never really had a plan to fix the roads. You know what I mean? It was always like, let's patch it up, let's do this, right? And I think when P came in, he's like, hey, like, we need an actual plan, like this, like, hey, let's patch this. it's not, it's not really doing anything long term. It's just making the problem worse. You know what I mean? And what's happening is it's pissing a lot of people off because, they're paying, they're taxpayers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it's just, but anyway, so sorry about the rant, but just get it, man. Certified
All right.
podcast every Tuesday. We out.